All right, welcome to HeartSupport, everyone, where we use music to start conversations about mental health. My name is Nate Hilpert, and I'm the executive director here, and I contribute to our content team. If you haven't seen our update video, you can check out where Taylor is for the next few weeks. And in the meantime, we're going to be having a series of guest mental health professionals come in and react with us and create content alongside us to react to some of your favorite songs, to start new conversations and new interpretations of lyrics that we all love. And today we are joined by WyKisha McKinney, who is a longtime advocate and subject matter in mental wellness and suicide prevention. She serves on the board of the Houston Area Suicide Prevention Coalition, where her advocacy and leadership are pivotal in driving community awareness and support for mental health initiatives. She's passionate about making a difference. She even started her own company to drive funds for suicide prevention called the 20 Company, and 20% of all of their profits are donated to suicide prevention initiatives. So we're so excited to have you, WyKisha. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
So one of the things that I was most excited about having you on is that you've never listened to metal before, right?
No, not ever. So this will be a new experience for sure. I am very much so a 90s, 80s baby growing up in the 90s. And so I'm still a fan of 90s and 2000s hip hop and R&B. Big fan of neo soul. So Maxwell, going back into that era is my niche. That's my soft spot.
And your husband is in the music industry as well.
Yes, he is. My husband, Derek McKinney, is the owner of Loud Music here in Houston, and it's the local independent label.
Well, we're excited to ease you into the metal world with a song called Pisces by Jinjer. And Jinjer fans, you know what we're about to get into. So let's go ahead and give it a rip.
Suffering with smile, I drew a different reality with unconditional loyalty. Ego heart, they can be because I'm selfless.
All right. First impression of metal. How we doing?
Good. Like of course, my perception when I think of metal, I'm thinking it's going to start off with really loud music. But I love the way that this song starts off, and I love the melody and the tempo also thus far.
Love it. What do you think about the lyrics?
It's interesting the conversation that can be started with just these first few lyrics, right? And so you have a person who's getting ready to start their day. The sun has risen on them, but there's some fear and a duality there that has to be also faced and addressed as they are waking up. Or as they're getting to wake up and kind of face the day. I think that can resonate with a lot of people. We do have to get up and face each day, but there may be a piece of us that is experiencing anxiety or struggling with something emotionally or even struggling with something mentally that we need to, kind of work through and face even before we get our day started.
Yep. And how about that line, today I'll be a friend of mine?
I love that because it's a reminder that, regardless, even though you do have this dual side of you, you need to acknowledge it, right? And embrace it. That is a part of who you are. And it does serve a purpose. And so, as opposed to running from that side or fighting with that side, giving yourself some compassion and some grace to get through your day and acknowledging the fact that there is a piece of you that you are still working on and that you're having a hard time with.
Love it. Love it. Let's keep going.
Okay, so
Second impression of metal.
so this is when I think of metal, this is what I think of. But it was also a little bit of a shock to see it come out of this lady who was singing so sweetly and everything, and then all of a sudden here's this different change in energy and mood and mode. Oh my goodness, it's it, it's a shock. You know, it's a little shock to the senses in a sense.
Yes. Yes. I love it. Let's keep going.
No promises I ever give. Don't rely on me and I won't deceive. The beginning or the end.
Right. She's definitely back to sweet and simple again.
Wave my fin and shake my tail. I grew and
But you can
different
still kind of hear the intensity and the passion, you know, even though the tone is changing.
hooks and nets are there for me, but I'm skittish.
You know, even in her changing the tone, between this part and the lyrics part, it also kind of melody of the song, right? And her message.
Neptune's child, shivering inside, drowns in the liquid gold. Cherish his life to the underworld. Make me flash and render into.
Tell me about the chorus line. One being brings life, another runs for death.
You know, kind of going back to again the whole theme of the duality of the people that live inside of us, right? In my field, I mean, working in suicide prevention, one of the things that I've learned is that there is, when a person is considering suicide, there's not necessarily a desire to die so much as it is a desire to stop hurting. But there is a piece of us that will tell us, or there's a piece of a person that will say, you know, death is the option, while there's still our will to live that's saying, no, there has to be something else, there has to be another way. You know, even though there may be a part of us that does run for death, the desire to live is usually stronger, and we just need help and support to continue to lean toward that side. And I always encourage folks, if there are people who are considering suicide, if someone knows someone that's thinking about suicide, really help them in thinking about and leaning in toward that side of us that wants to live, that looks for that sunshine, that continues to push through, even though we know that there are going to be dangers and things that we have to face day to day. But to continue to strive and work toward that effort to just lean toward the side that wants to live. As small as it may seem, it's still there. So lean into that.
Yeah, I love what you're pointing out with other people offering us perspective in our own darkness, because at least from my own experience with suicidal ideation and many of the people who have shared their experience with us here at Heart Support, when you're in that mode, it's like you do have those two pieces, but you forget there's a second piece. It's like you're all dark. It's just like the piece of you that's running for death is all there is. And so having someone else remind you, like, hey, I know this cycle. It feels like you're only like you lost the other half of yourself, but that part still exists. And like that reminder from someone else can be like, it's like sun shines behind the cloud, man. Like dawn will come.
Man, what a talent. What a really great talent. Like, I appreciate you all for sharing this with me, for one. Tatiana, her ability to be able to use her instrument in such a way is powerful in and of itself. You know, I think that when we think about our artists and their voices, we don't always think about it as an instrument, but this is something that Tatiana has really worked on. And that was the thing that really resonated for me in hearing her go from the screaming, right, and being able to really use all of her muscle, and immediately switch back to singing and being melodic. That takes a lot of skill and a lot of time and a lot of practice, but that also shows her versatility and her ability to just really be able to, again, use that instrument to the best of her ability, to her strengths.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So you've completed your very first metal song right here at HeartSupport. Any final thoughts?
My final thoughts is send me more recommendations because I'd love to hear more. You know, I think in any kind of music, you can find a message. You can find a strong message on how to take care of yourself. And it is, it does help to be able to break down songs and listen and really listen to them. And so I think that even my final thoughts with this particular song is that it definitely has a strong message of being able to push through, acknowledging that there are two sides of us, and really being able to push through and lean in on the side that leans to life. And be strong in that, and use your voice and be radical in how you lean to that side.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here, WyKisha. And if you guys who are watching, if you want to be a part of being the type of person who can take someone in their darkness and remind them there is light in them, there is light on the other side of the struggle that they're in, please become a volunteer by clicking on the link in the caption below. We'll train you. It's a group effort. It's a community of people, of other music fans who are saying, we have hope to offer and we want other people to experience that as well. So come and be a part.